As creators, we're always trying to communicate ideas or emotions in our work. Ideas tend to be better communicated through logic, but art excels at communicating emotions. Now, how can we as artists and creators infuse emotions into an object? Although there are many ways of tackling this, I will go through the process I follow. I feel one of the best ways to start is get insights from your own body. How does the emotion I want to convey feels in my body? What sensations are particular to each emotion? Anger might feel hot and pulsating, perhaps more on the head and arms, like an energy that wants to be released outwards, while fear might feel cold and tingly, be more focused on the stomach and chest, and the energy might be more driven inwards, in an attempt of protecting ourselves. While getting those insights from your body, now you can see what images or sounds come up in your mind. For this step, you might already want to have a tool in hand. The tool, depending on what sense do you want to tackle. If you're making something visual, you might want to have a blank page with colored pencils. Which colors or shapes relate to the emotion? Although certain emotions are associated with certain colors, you can experiment with different things. Perhaps you heard somewhere that red should definitely be the color of anger. But in your experience, maybe at that moment, you feel like that anger should be purple. One of the things that I love about art is that truly, there are no rules. If red should always be associated with strong emotions, then art would fall under the chains of a system of right and wrong and stop being art altogether. That's why, while making art, you shouldn't be really thinking that much, to let your intuition take charge. As I have said before in my video about originality, I wouldn't recommend looking outside of yourself for ideas, such as typing the emotion in a search engine and look for inspiration in other people's visuals, as this usually leads to repetitive, expected, and unoriginal work. If I'm making music, I will have an instrument and start experimenting with notes and seeing which combinations or chord progressions sound like the feeling I want to evoke. When I want to do a sculpture, I wouldn't draw it first, but actually use my body to figure out the posture. Which brings me to a specific example. For one of my first sculptures, I wanted to make a devil just for fun. The idea that he was a devil took me to the concepts of good and evil, and then that took me to the concept of morality, which then took me to the emotion of guilt. So I thought about the story of this devil that had actually gone against his evil nature to do something good. And that internal conflict was going to be what influenced the posture and the setting of the sculpture. Since this was a sculpture, I felt the easiest way to work out the position was using my own body, instead of, for example, paper to draw something. Guilt felt like a heaviness to me. A heaviness not only on the chest, but especially on my head, so I knew that the figure was going to be trying to support himself, probably sitting and also holding his head as if his thoughts made his head too heavy. It also felt like an energy directed inwards, like a self-punishment, so I knew his body was going to be sort of curved towards itself. His spine should be curved, his muscles clenched, and his body compressed, as if trying to make himself small. Guilt has also feelings of shame attached, so that's when I knew that I wanted to have the hands pressing hard against his features, like trying to erase them. I also experienced wanting to be alone with this heavy weight, so the idea that he was going to be perched on top of a very high pillar, sort of in a self-imposed exile, also came to me this way, just through the insights of how I physically felt and what my body was doing. So that is how I made Guilt, one of my first maquettes and attempts to infuse a particular feeling onto a piece of clay. So, to summarize, first, feel the emotion. Second, transfer the sensations of your body onto the tangible world, using your tool of choice. Third, you can stop there depending on what you want to accomplish, or use this tangible information to build your artwork. What is your process? If you would like, let me know in the comments below. I'm Garunt. Thanks for watching.